What's going on, peeps? I hope you guys are good. What's good? What's good? Let's get those questions in. Smash the like button, guys. What's going on? What's going on? I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are staying safe, guys. I've smashed. I've put the link in the. Yo, Imran. Hope you're good, brother. What's going on, H? I hope you're good as well. What's good? What's good? Anyone wants to jump on? We got some big news to talk about. Big news today. Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. It's happening. What's good, brother? I hope you're doing great, man. I'm doing very well, Jose. I hope you're good as well. Um, guys, big news in the boxing world. The heavyweight championship is going to be between Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. Um, and we've got Canelo Alvarez apparently, allegedly, being offered 50 million to fight Jamal Charlo. A lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. Thoughts on Martinez and Chocolatito? Hope you're doing good. I hope you're well, Jose Rodriguez. Well, I think I'm going Chocolatito to win that. I'm going Chocolatito to win that. I think Chocolatito might just be a bit busy. I don't know though. It's a hard one. Martinez can bang a little bit. It's a good fight. Hello, Bobby. I hope you're good. H says a massive British fight. Yeah, a huge British fight. It's monster. It's a monster fight. Monster fight. It's a huge fight without question. It is an absolute beast of a fight without question. It's a huge fight. Massive fight. I can't wait, to be honest with you. I can't wait. Long time coming. Dillian Whyte hasn't got a shot for a while. Long time coming. But yeah, anyone that wants to join the streams, jump on. You're more than welcome to jump on, and Let's start talking boxing. Let's start talking boxing. Anyone that wants to jump on, you're more than welcome to jump on. Let's get this party started. Whoever wants to jump on and give their take, let me know. If you want to hop on. Um, yeah. So H says here, what's H saying? How do you think Khan v Brook is going to sell? Assume it's pay-per-view, right? Yeah, it is. I think it's gonna do good numbers. I think it's probably gonna do maybe about 500,000-600,000 pay-per-view buys. I think it'll sell well. It's a fairly big fight. It's been received very well. People are excited for it. They want to see it. Sold out very quickly. So yeah, let's hope. Let's see that. I think the numbers will do pretty good. Pretty good. It's quite a big fight, to be honest with you. Um, Anyone wants to jump on? What's going on? Anyone wants to jump on? Anyone that wants to jump on, hop on, and let's get talking about this. Whoever wants to jump on, I've left the link in the chat. So if you want to jump on, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to jump on. Who you got? Valdez v Shakur. I got Shakur in that one. I think Shakur's going to be too good. Shakur's a little bit special, ain't he? He's a bit fast. He's great. Brendan, what's going on? Salute. Yeah, so I got Shakur in that one. I think he's just more skillful. I think he's just a better boxer out of the two. He's more gifted. And I just think he'll outbox Valdez, if I'm totally honest with you. I don't really think, I can't see Valdez winning that fight. But, you never know. You never know. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. It is boxing at the end of the day. Anything is possible. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a good fight. But I definitely have Shakur winning that one. I think Shakur's going to be too good for him. Anyone else? Get your questions in, guys. Get your questions in. If you want to jump on, jump on. My mind is with Shakur, but my heart is with Valdez. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyone wants to jump on, you're more than welcome. Let me put the link in the YouTube thing, the chat. For you guys. 1 second. Just give me a sec, guys. Give me a sec. What's going on, guys? Can you hear me? I'm pretty sure you can hear me now. Yeah. If Canelo fights Charlo, do you think afterwards we will see? Uh, it's not off now. It's on. My mic is on now. If Canelo fights Charlo, do you think? If Canelo fights Charlo, do you think afterwards we will see Canelo for undisputed at 175 finally? I hope so. I hope so, Brendan. I don't know. It's a tricky one. I don't know. I want to see. I want to see him fight all the. I want to see Canelo fight all of those guys. Uh, so Shakur says. Shakur says. Joseph says, yeah, Shakur is a beast, but with Valdez, you never know. We all thought he got knocked out. Yeah, yeah, you never know. You never know. Um, what's going on, Mike T? I hope you're well, brother. Thanks for the super chat. What's up, Imran? Hope all is well, brother. Hit the like button, guys. Andrade, he can go back. Yeah, man, he's a bit of a doc, isn't that? It's a bit of a doc, that one. You know, Janny Beck. Where's Christian? Where's Christian? Christian left a message. I don't know if you guys saw it. I know some of you guys went back and forth. Christian said that, Andrade is he's not ducking Janny Beck. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I think he is, to be honest with you. What's going on? What's going on to uh, the real ghost, my man, Sam? How's it going, brother? I thought a lot of people forgot. Greg, sorry. Why am I saying Sam? Greg. What's going on, Greg? I thought a lot of people forgot how Bashelt had Valdez in trouble in many spots. A good bit of Valdez really started. Yeah, but yeah. Shakur's just a master, though, ain't he? Shakur's a master at work. Shakur's like very skilled, and I just don't see Valdez getting those shots off. You know what I mean? I just see Shakur outboxing him quite easily, to be honest with you. I think Shakur will outbox him quite easily. He's different gravy. He's different gravy, that guy. He's different gravy. My man Joel's in the house. What's going on, Joel? Joel, if you want to come on, if you want to hop on the live stream, I've left the link in the chat. You're more than welcome to come on. Let me drop the link again. Let me drop the link again for you. I've dropped the link again for you. Evening, what's going on? Davey's in the house as well. I've dropped the link. Anyone wants to jump on? I've dropped the link. You're more than welcome. There's a lot to talk about today. There's a lot to talk about. So, I'd love to know your guys' opinion on a lot of the things that are going on. Evening to Joel. What's going on, Joel? If you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to jump on. Japwin Entertainment, great name. A lot of people in the house today. Joseph says Janny Beck apparently said he's going to chase Andrade to 168. I don't think Andrade is going to duck him that easy. Janny Beck, he wants that smoke. Janny Beck says, I'm going to go to 168 and find you as well. So because if you become the WBO champion, then you automatically become the mandatory in the weight class above as well. So if Janny Beck becomes champion at 160, he can always hunt Andrade down at 168 as well. So Andrade should have taken that fight, man. I don't know why Andrade why is he avoiding Janny Beck, man? He fought his Mandos against was it Liam Williams and stuff. Now all of a sudden there was a guy there that people thought could beat him, and he decides to sidestep it. Andrade kind of, I don't know about Andrade. He kind of, for me, I don't know, man. Andrade's a bit of a tricky one. Guy's been in boxing for over a decade. Still can't fight. Still can't buy a big fight. I don't think he's been in a ring with any world-class opponent yet. So when Joel gives his point here. Joel, by the way, Japwin Entertainment. Joel is a very, very knowledgeable guy about boxing. So it's good to have him in. Hopefully that's the case. Doesn't make sense not to fight Janny Beck. Here's the thing, Joe. I don't think he wants. I don't know with Andrade. It's a tricky one because I can understand from a business sense that if you were his manager, you don't want him to fight Janny Beck. Janny Beck is a guy that's had 11, 12 fights, right? What does he really gain from that? It's a dangerous fight. He could potentially lose. But then this is a guy that accuses Canelo of ducking. This is a guy that says that Canelo's does exactly the same thing, but Canelo fights champions. So, and let's be honest, Andrade's hardly got a resume himself. Andrade's got a poor resume anyway. Andrade's got a really poor resume. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Andrade v. Caleb Plant. Who do you guys have? Andrade v. Caleb Plant. Who do you guys have in that one? That's a good fight, you know. You know what? That's a good fight. Really good fight. Andrade v. Benavidez. Who you got guys in that? Andrade should have beat Janibek, then move up. I would respected him a lot more. I was looking forward to that fight. Shame. Yeah, to be honest, I want to see Andrade fight the top guys. You know, Janibek's not that. He's a guy up and coming, but we need to see Andrade in there with the big names. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. He's never fought a big name. He's never fought a world-class fighter. So Joseph says Janibek is a dangerous fight for Andrade with small reward. I think he's just looking at it through a business standpoint. Yeah, but exactly. So you could say the same about Canelo and what's his name, Andrade. Canelo could look at him the same way. In my opinion, Andrade wants a payday. He ducked Jamel, Charlo, Lara, Derevyanchenko, and Janibek. Yeah, the real ghost. Greg says Janibek is a slick boxer and a southpaw. 300 amateur wins and 7 losses. He's running like Usain Bolt. You know what? Greg's going in for Andrade. You know, he's had enough. He's had enough, and we've all had enough. 10 years of fighting poor competition. Embarrassing. You know, we've had enough. We need to see him in there with top tier opposition. We're bored. You know what? I was saying in my video that Andrade might be something special. We just don't know, but he hasn't fought anybody. You know, he hasn't fought anybody. He hasn't fought anybody, and it's frustrating for me. As a fight fan, it's really, really frustrating. So it says here, entertainment evening, Joel. What's going on? Davey, if you want to hop on, you can always hop. I think Caleb is more experienced. Caleb is a lot more experienced. I said, no, I got Caleb beating Andrade, says Josa. Caleb beating Andrade, possibly. Caleb beats Andrade by unanimous decision. Fair. I got Andrade beating Plant. Scratch your cheek says, I got Andrade beating Plant. Yes, I'm good. If Andrade went to fight Canelo, he should have moved to 175. Okay. I don't know. That's a bit of a jump, though, isn't it? From 160 to 175. It's a bit of a big one. I also don't get why Benavidez isn't trying to fight Caleb Plant. I hope that fight happens, to be honest. I'd like to see it. Canelo isn't staying at 168. Oh, my man, where's Little Penny gone? Little Penny, where have you gone? You disappeared. You were in there. You disappeared. Little Penny. Little Penny? Little Penny was in and then he disappeared. Where's he gone? Okay. Jose Ruiz says, Andrade, wow, he moved up. That was a big dumb move. 168. He has no chance against Canelo, says Jose Ruiz. Most likely not. I think very few people from 160 to 168 have a chance against Canelo. No reason for Canelo to stay at 168 after Charlo. Yeah, I agree. So said James, listen, I'm here. What's going on, James? Where is Andrade's side piece, Christian? Wow, Christian is he's I think he's busy at the minute. I think Andrade's best years are behind him. Yeah, possibly he's 34 years of age. He's 34 years of age. Numbers of champions defeated. Benavidez 1, Charlo that 1 or 3. Dudu 1, Canelo 19. Rest my case. What's going on? Little Penny's in the house. Little Penny, how are you, brother?
Hi, Imran. How are you?
All good, man. All good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
You know what? We've had some big news today. Big news. Firstly, I'm going to ask you about a couple of things that we've the news today. We've heard that Canelo's been offered 50 million apparently by the PBC to fight Charlo. We've also heard that Tyson Fury will be fighting Dillian Whyte in the biggest purse bid biggest purse bid in the history of the sport of boxing. 41 million Frank Warren put up to win that purse bid. And Dillian Whyte will be getting $7 million, while Tyson Fury would be getting $31 million, I believe. What's your take on the news? What's your reaction to Canelo? What's your reaction to Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte and Janibek and Andrade? Apparently, everyone accusing Andrade of ducking Janibek. What's your take?
You know that 50 million guarantee for Canelo.
Yeah,
That's quite a bit. I was expecting maybe somewhere in the vicinity of maybe 30. I remember when Pacquiao fought Mosley.
yeah,
His because that pay-per-view did 1.3 million, right?
right, yeah, yeah.
I think because Mosley is quite a good B-side opponent for a pay-per-view, because when he fought Mayweather, I think that did 1.4 million. So, but just going back to the Pacquiao Mosley, I think Pacquiao, because he was the A side, I think Pacquiao's guarantee was 30 million or 35 million when the pay-per-view was 1.3. So Canelo's guarantee is 50. Now, obviously, Charlo is not Mosley. Like, he doesn't have that star pool like what Mosley has. So it's not the same purse split. So because Pacquiao Mosley, I think, was 60-40. This one is not 60-40. It will probably more like 80-20, right? Because Charlo, I don't think this is Charlo's first pay-per-view. But to get 50 million, so that means Fox would be anticipating this pay-per-view to go over 1 million pay-per-view buys for them to pay Canelo 50 million. I think they'll reach it. I don't know if they'll reach 1.3 million, but I think they will reach 1 million.
Yeah, I think they'll do huge numbers, the Charlo fight. I think it might do 1.5.
Yeah, I think it will reach more than 1 million. It's just that, this is Charlo's first pay-per-view. That's all. Like, whereas when with Mosley, when he fought Pacquiao, that was Mosley's like maybe fifth or sixth pay-per-view. So, but I do think it'll reach over 1 million.
But I would go as far as saying that Canelo's a bigger pay-per-view star than Pacquiao now. Don't you think?
At that time,
do you think Canelo can generate big numbers? Like Pacquiao had dance partners. Like Mosley's a big name, like you said, in itself. And Pacquiao had guys like Miguel Cotto who had huge fan bases. Whereas like Canelo's doing it on his own, little penny.
Yeah, you know what, Imran, I kind of slightly agree with you, because I remember when Pacquiao fought a nobody like Clotty that did 750 pay-per-view buys. So Canelo fought Plant, and that did 800 pay-per-view buys. So that tells me, I think Canelo, I don't think he's as big as Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather
No, not as big as Floyd, no.
But yeah, I think he's probably, at this point of his career, I think he's bigger than Pacquiao.
Pay-per-view wise, not like in terms of like legendary status, in terms of what he's achieved yet. But like I think in terms of like pay-per-view numbers, man, he's got a whole of Mexico behind him, man. He's got a huge audience, hasn't he, behind him?
Yeah. And also Mexico is quite close to America. So a lot of Mexicans do travel to Las Vegas or Texas. Because I'll give you another example why he's a bigger draw than Pacquiao. When Pacquiao fought Joshua Clottey, I was actually at that fight in Las Vegas. In Dallas, the Cowboy Stadium. It was 55,000 people. But when Canelo fought, was it BJ Saunders? They fought in Texas. It was like 75,000 or something. You know what I mean? So that tells you that he's definitely a bigger draw than Pacquiao. But yeah, that 50 million, that's just the guarantee, by the way. That's not his final it's 50 million plus upside of the pay-per-view. The reason why they just want to say 50 million guarantees, because that's the percentage that the WBC or the governing bodies will take their cut from, because it's based on the guarantee times their, I don't know, their 1 or 2%. it's
Mm.
capped at a certain figure. But like that's why, like, when Mayweather fought, he would never disclose, like, his guarantee for the Pacquiao fight was 100 million, but he actually got about 330. The reason for that is because he didn't want to say 330, and then you have to times that by 1%. So it's better to say 100, so that it's a lower figure to the sanctioning fees. You know what I mean?
Right, right. But
But it
you know
is
what, Lil Penny, in the current climate, to offer 50 million guarantee, it's a bit much, don't you think?
yeah, it
Like,
is.
you
It
don't
is.
get guarantees like that, like in
Yeah.
today's time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I even remember when Mayweather fought Canelo himself.
Yeah,
I think Mayweather's guarantee was not even that much. I think it was like around 30, 35. He ended up getting 70 million because
yeah.
of the pay-per-view upside, because I think that did like
But
2.2
Lil
million.
Penny, Mayweather, he started earning big like towards the back end of like, like the last couple of fights, like like Pacquiao where he earned like ridiculous, and then McGregor where he earned ridiculous amount of
Yeah.
money. I don't think all of his fights early on, like not so much early on. We know that when he was at 135, he wasn't making that kind of money. But like even the fights that he had at welterweight with Oscar De La Hoya and stuff, I don't think he was making like 100 million or nothing.
Yeah, that Oscar De La Hoya one, that did huge numbers. That did
But
like
would he have made 100
2.4.
million though? Because De La Hoya was the A side in that fight.
Yeah, it was De La Hoya. Yeah. But yeah, just going back to Mayweather's older fights, he's like at 130 and 135 or even 140. His pay-per-view numbers was around 300,000, 400,000 pay-per-view buys. Like his first pay-per-view fight was against Arturo Gatti, and I think that only did about 350.
Wasn't Gatti was the Gatti the A side in that one?
Yes, Gatti was the A side. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even his fight against Judah, I think that only did 400,000 pay-per-view buys. He really only started doing over 1 million pay-per-view buys when he fought De La Hoya.
Yeah.
Same thing with Pacquiao. Pacquiao was doing the same thing when he was fighting these Mexican guys at 126 and 130. Pacquiao's pay-per-view was around 300 to 400,000. Then when
But
he fought De La Hoya, then he started doing the 1 million pay-per-view buys.
But you
So
know
a lot of
what,
these,
Little Penny? You know why you got to credit Floyd? You got to look at it. Pacquiao had a whole country behind him. Canelo's got a whole country behind him. Marquez had a whole country behind him. Miguel Cotto had a huge fan base. The Puerto Rican fan base behind him, right? All of these guys had huge audiences behind him. Floyd didn't have that kind of support from a country. Floyd built that, marketed himself in a way where he built it on hate, where people were wanting to see him for him to lose. They want, like, I reckon if Floyd had lost his he wouldn't have been as big.
yeah, I agree. But also, Imran,
Yeah.
in Mexico and in
Yeah.
Philippines,
Yeah.
there is no pay-per-view. It's for free. Like
Is
TV
it?
Azteca,
There's no
they pay huge.
there's no pay-per-view there.
No, it's for free. It's for free. So what happens is in Mexico, a TV Azteca, they pay a huge what do you call it? Rights fee,
Right,
so
yeah.
that you can put the fight for free. And then
What is it like DAZN then? Like, how you have to pay for like how we do for Sky Sports?
No, I think TV Azteca is free to air TV, kind of like NBC or CBS. Because in the Philippines, it's the same thing. The boxing is broadcasted by ABS-CBN, and it's for free. But the thing is, there's a lot of advertisements. Same thing with if you watch the TV Azteca boxing editions. There's enormous amount of advertisement whilst the fight is on. And it's the same thing with ABS-CBN, and it's obviously so that they can pay for the fight. But yeah, so in that sense, a lot of the pay-per-view buyers are actually in America and in Canada. And for Pacquiao to do that much numbers, and he's not even American, right?
Yeah.
So I think that also speaks volumes. Whereas Floyd, he is an American, so you have to expect him to get all of those numbers because it's his fellow countrymen.
But
Whereas,
then if you look at the Americans right now, no one's doing any numbers on that level. Like
Yeah.
when you look at like the fighters today, Charlo and Spence and Terence Crawford, these guys they struggle to sell like even 100,000.
I think the Fury Wilder fight was a successful pay-per-view, from my understanding.
But I don't know if they made a profit, you know, because they paid them so much money, you know. Because remember, these
Yeah.
guys are guarantees are like big money, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's the
are they making a lot from those shows? I don't know. A little
and you
penny.
know what, Imran, and that's the problem with boxing, man. I think sometimes some of the reasons why these boxers don't fight more than twice a year,
Yeah.
or in some occasions more than once a year, is because their fight process is so big that they don't need to fight 3 times or 4 times a year. Like getting like 3 or 4 million, say for I don't know, for like Gary Russell Jr. for example.
Mm.
Why would you fight like 3 times a year when you're getting 4 million already? Like that's huge already. You know what I mean,
Mm.
Imran?
Mm.
Obviously it's good for the boxers because they're the ones there that are risking their lives in the ring.
Mm.
Um, but what I'm saying is, in the previous years, because boxers weren't the boss per se,
Yeah.
they because the promoters were getting most of the money.
Yeah.
Now it's the other way around. They had to fight more often so that they can get the 4 million a year that they want. They have to fight 3, 5 times a year. You know what I mean?
Mm. Mm. I'm shocked about that. That, you know, all the fights in the Philippines and Mexico is for free. That was news to me,
Yeah,
but a lot of people are confirming it in the chat as well that
yeah, it's for
it
free.
is free
Yeah,
to, you know, free to
but
air.
but in,
I
they
would
pay.
say that those countries might not be able to afford it anyway if they were like charged like that,
Yeah, but
right?
Imran, the TV networks have to pay enormous amount of like copyright fees or like the rights to to show that in their
Yeah, show
country.
that
It's not
fight.
cheap. You know what I mean? It's not like,
Yeah, yeah,
oh, yeah, we'll pay you $1 million, but it's more than that. And plus,
right, right.
ABS-CBN in Philippines is the #1 TV network in the Philippines. So they have enormous amount of money because they've got a monopoly. Same thing in Mexico. I'm guessing TV Azteca. I think the only other one TV network that has that kind of money in Mexico is probably Telemundo. So
Right.
when you have a monopoly like that, they do have the funds to show it live. Kind of like you guys with Sky Sports. Sometimes the pay-per-view isn't it like for free too in Britain as well? But it's a
No,
pay-per-view
no,
in America.
no. It's not. It's never. We have to pay for it, man.
Oh, do you?
Big
Oh
fights,
man.
we have to pay for it. Like, so for example, this Khan Brook fight, it's probably going to be like 20 quid.
But it'll probably be free in America though. Like
No, it's on
I reckon
ESPN. It's on ESPN, I think.
uh,
ESPN Plus.
it's been plus. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that fight's not going to be pay-per-view in America. Like, there's no interest really.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
maybe the hardcores, you know what I mean? But there's no real interest in that fight in America. Like, I saw Robert Garcia's interview and they said like nobody cares about it. It's massive in England, but nobody cares about it
Yeah.
here in America. So,
Uh,
uh,
Imran, I
yeah.
like that fight, man. I like that
Yeah,
fight
yeah,
now
it's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. It's gonna
because
be
it's a
really
lot
good.
close. It's a lot closer now than before. Whereas before, like if they fought in 2014, 2015, a
Yeah,
lot of people would have thought, oh yeah, Khan's just too talented for this guy.
I don't know though, little Penny. Like, you know what? A lot of people from like outside, like you guys in New Zealand, Australia, America, uh, pick Khan because he's done more at world level than Brook. But in the
mm,
UK, I don't think people saw it like that. I don't know whether that's because a lot of people in the UK dislike Khan, like whereas he's more liked like in Australia, New Zealand, America, like even Mexico. He fought Canelo, so maybe those guys have a lot more respect for him than in the UK. I don't know. UK, like I know some of the fans here are a bit weird like that, man. You know, they
I, I,
like certain
Imran,
fighters.
I don't know
Yeah.
what's with the hate with Khan. It's not like he's portraying himself like Mayweather, you know, where he like
No, I think here's
yeah,
the thing. I think it's a couple of things. I think he docked Brook in his prime.
yeah, okay, yep, I get
And
that.
obviously, you know, he came around a time where there was a you would say there was a very, you know, like we had like the London bombings and stuff, like we had that sort of stuff, and he came around that time. So like people's perception of that background had changed in this country
Yep,
because of like the way they associated people from that background.
yeah,
And yeah, he's from that background, so I think that didn't help. Like I don't know if this is true, but I got told that when Khan actually fought Barrera, you know that fight happened in Manchester, Little Penny.
yep,
Apparently, Khan was booed, and Barrera was actually cheered by the UK fans.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I was like, crap, man. I don't know how much validity to that because obviously I wasn't there. But apparently that showed that there was a large section of the UK audience that were booing Khan, and they were cheering for. And that, I found, if that is true, that's kind of sad, really. A 19-year-old kid fighting like a ring legend in Barrera, like, who was on.
hey,
Yeah, you know what I mean. And if they're
hey, Imran,
booing,
Imran, one of your subscribers said that UK fans can be whacked at hard times. He's saying UK fans can be whacked. They never fully accepted Lennox Lewis.
yeah,
I
they didn't. To be honest, they didn't.
So it's kind of like, but Imran, would his perception change had he won the gold though? Khan, like, had he won the gold? Because
I don't
silver
know.
and
I
gold
don't know. I
are
don't really
different.
think that really. I don't really think people care that much, to be honest. Like, I don't think people like. I don't think it would have mattered, to be honest. Like, Audley Harrison won the gold, and his career as a pro like really flopped at world level. But
But that's because of him though. Like,
yeah, yeah.
because of
I
his.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Little Penny. I don't know. I can't say. I don't really know. I don't like
Because
James
Imran,
DeGale won a gold. He wasn't really that liked.
because Imran, I kind of followed the Olympics back then, like, and from afar, I did hear about Amir Khan, and he only won silver, and I was
Yeah, he
thinking,
wants, but he wasn't gonna beat that guy, was he? Mario Kindelin. He weren't gonna beat Kindelin in the final as a 17-year-old. That guy was too good.
yeah,
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 he was one of the greatest amateurs of all time, you know?
yeah,
Kindelin was something special, that wasn't he like a triple gold medalist?
yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, that guy he was a beast, that Mario Kindelin.
Yeah,
Um,
was that the same Olympics when Katie Taylor and Katie Taylor won her gold medal?
what, in 2004?
Oh, no. I think Katie Taylor won hers in 2000
Later,
and
2012, I think,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Oh, so,
Khan was like, yeah, he was way
so Khan
before
was
Katie Taylor.
yeah. Okay, so Khan was Athens.
Yeah, Athens, yeah, Greece, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
like
yeah,
this.
Little Penny, what do you make of Tyson Fury v Dillian Whyte, man?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Dillian finally gets his big payday. So he's getting 8 million, right? Plus upside.
$7 million.
7?
7 million, yeah.
Okay, so that's
Tyson
why he
Fury's getting $29 million.
yeah, so it's not what he wanted because he wanted 10 million, right? Plus pay-per-view upside. So
Yeah,
he's
but
getting
Little
7.
Penny, man, $7 million to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. You can't go wrong, man.
Yeah. And that would do huge pay-per not huge, but it would do good pay-per-view numbers in Britain, right? That Fury because they're local guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Definitely. I think it's great. There's some good comments coming in the chat, Little Penny. All our media says Amir Khan's silver medal meant British team went to Beijing in 2008. The funding would have been cut. Yeah, I've heard that as well. A boxing historian said this will get me angry. This subject, because people say he's not British when we praise him. Says boxing historian. People say he's not British. Uh, Fury v White not going the distance. That's some pretty good money, yeah. So like people got their opinion about Khan, people got their opinion about Fury White. I like Fury-Whyte, man. I like that fight. I like that fight. I want to get Davey to come on. I want Davey to come on. Cali Mexican says Khan is a dying breed in boxing. Say what you want about him, but he's a brave fighter. I'd have to agree. He is a dying breed. You don't really get many guys that fight top opposition. Little Penny, Khan's resume is stupid, Like, his resume is crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I love this.
He's fought everybody, man.
Yeah, he did. He had no fear too. I love the comparison between him and Hatton. Even though Hatton didn't have the resume as Khan, Hatton had the popularity per se, and Hatton fought two of the greatest
of all time,
of all time. Yet Khan didn't, but Khan's resume still holds up because Hatton lost brutally against those two guys. Even though Khan had some brutal losses.
Yeah, he had some knockouts, man. He had some brutal defeats as well.
But I would say, Imran, I would say his defeat to Canelo was a far more.
He was more competitive in that fight, you should say.
But it was a bigger challenge than, say, Hatton fighting Pacquiao at 140, because that was Hatton's division.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with you there. Yeah, it's a much harder fight, isn't it?
Yeah, because it wasn't even at 154, right? It was at 155, which is
which is
the
Khan was a small welterweight, Little Penny. He's not even a big welterweight. Like Brook, for example. Brook's a massive welterweight. Right?
Yeah, and for Khan to win 4 rounds, whereas Hatton didn't win any rounds against Pacquiao.
The Pacquiao fight was wasn't a fight really. It was one-way traffic.
And the Mayweather fight, I think Hatton probably won only 1 round, maybe the first round even. That's probably pushing.
He won a few rounds, didn't he? I think he won a couple in that fight, didn't he? It's Mayweather, Little Penny. Mayweather was just so much of a better boxer than Hatton. Hatton was a pressure fighter. You're not gonna. It's very. But then, having said that, Maidana won a lot of rounds against Mayweather.
But Maidana was a huge guy, though.
He was actually a big guy, man. He was a strong guy.
He actually belonged in the welterweight division, whereas Hatton really didn't. Hatton was really 140.
Yeah, he was 140, wasn't he? He didn't really have the frame, Hatton, to move up to 147. Because the guys were a lot bigger, and his style was a pressure fighting style. Yeah, and it just suited. It just suited, those bigger guys would have been difficult for Hatton to shift. I think. Go on,
Emran, do you reckon it would have helped if Hatton was a bit more disciplined, like he didn't blow up in weight?
Of course. Of course. It is. Look at guys like Canelo, Mayweather, Pacquiao. They lived the life. When do you ever see them out of shape? When do you see them out, like blown up, you never see it, right? You never see. Oh, my man Steven's in the house.
Hey, Steven. What's cracking, Little Penny? What's up, man, Rand?
All good, man. All good. Steven, you've heard the big news, right?
No, I didn't. I ain't heard. Nah, not today. What's going on?
Bro, you ain't heard the big news. Huge news come out.
No.
Let me tell you the big news in boxing. Canelo Alvarez apparently has been offered $50 million to fight Jamal Charlo, guarantee. Damn. Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte is on. It's on next.
It's on.
Guess what? The biggest purse bid in the history of the sport of boxing. Listen to this, Stephen. The biggest purse bid in the history of the sport. Frank Warren won the purse bid, bidding $41 million. Tyson Fury will get $30 million, and Dillian Whyte will get, I think, $7 or $8 million, something like that.
That's good money.
Yeah.
Now I did hear that part.
What do you make of it?
So what you think? Well, no, I was going to ask you what you thought about the Canelo Jamal Charlo ordeal. You think it's gonna go through?
I think so, man. I think so. I think Canelo and Charlo's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen, Stephen. It's gonna happen. I
Dang.
just think that that's too good a deal to turn down, man. 50 million guaranteed.
Yeah,
Too good, man.
yeah,
It's too good.
yeah. You right.
Uh, I just
Who
think
was
it's a
this that
massive.
just came
What do
on,
you
man?
think? You earned that high on that fight.
No, because I think Canelo wins that fight, man. I think Canelo wins that fight handily. So I really don't see a reason for it. But everybody wants that fight to happen. So I
Yeah, yeah.
mean,
Why do you think people want to see that fight?
because Jamal Charlo has been, he's been asking for it for a long time, and there's been speculation that Canelo ducked him and this, that, and the third. So I
Mm,
think people want to. I think people saying now you got your chance. Now let's see what you're talking about.
Stephen, I want to bring this point up to you. Do you think? And I don't
Hmm.
like bringing these points up because I don't think we should be talking about it, and I don't like it in the sport
Hmm.
of boxing. But do you think there's a bit of a racial element there?
Yeah, there's believe it or not, man, with pretty much anything you do in your life, anything
Yeah,
that happens in your life, there's a racial component to it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, there's just we're tribal people by nature. People by
Mm,
nature are tribal people, and you're gonna want to fend and take care of your people first before everybody
mm,
else.
mm,
So I think people see there's a certain community of people who are in alignment with Canelo and see Canelo as one of them, and rightfully so because he is one of them. And there's a
mm,
certain sector of people that see Jamal Charlo as one of them, and naturally they're gonna fend for them people for their own first. But
But here's
through
the thing,
all that,
Stephen. You see the comments in the comment section, right? Why are
yeah,
people like
yeah,
that? Why are they not boxing fans? Why are they like vouching for like why are they like I understand like we all support like everyone's biased. Like I'm a bias towards Amir Khan because I'm from his same background. Like, but I can keep it neutral, I can keep it real. I can say he ducked Kell Brook. I can say these things, but why do these people make it look like why is it biased? Like, because that as fans, that doesn't help the sport if we're being biased and we're basically vouching for somebody's BS, right? Like you call it
what
100%. Like if Javonte Davis is ducking, you'll say Javonte Davis is ducking. You don't care if he's from your background or he's from wherever. You don't care where Floyd is from your back. You'll call him out when you want to call him out, right? So what the point
right,
I'm trying
right.
to make as fans, we're hurting the sport by backing people that are actually ducking, or we're backing people that really are damaging the sport. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That great point, man. I couldn't have said it better. That's something that unfortunately is going to be a byproduct of boxing and any sport in general. You're going to have novice fans and novice casual fans who only visit the sport for a momentary time, and then they gone. They don't
Mm-hmm.
really analyze and get acquainted with the historical element of the sport and the little nuances that come along with the sport. They just they basically act and think off of instinct. I mean, off of impulse.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or they're all up in their feelings. If I may just jump in, because Imran, I've done live chats with you already a few times, and
Mm-hmm.
whatchamacallit, if I may give my 2 cents on what the other gentleman, which I'm gonna agree with you on, like, okay, I'm from the United States. I'm from Chicago. Um, I come from a two dual backgrounds. My mom is from the Philippines, and my father is Mexican. I grew up with I grew up majority of my life in a all black community, and I also grew up knowing my Hispanic background. I also grew up knowing the Filipino background. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm 39. I grew up appreciating the sport of boxing through my father, who My father was a Mexican immigrant who came to the United States, and he liked the old school names like what's his name, Mantequilla Napoli, Julio Cesar Chavez, the original, Roberto Duran, who's one of the best fighters that came out of Panama. Um, who was another one? Macho Camacho, who's from Puerto Rico. I grew up seeing Felix Trinidad. I also grew up in that era where I got to see Pretty Boy Floyd, who was one of my biggest inspirations in boxing, and I've seen that diversity split between people always like, well, why are you cheering on for? Because I keep it real. I like boxing. I don't just go based off of an ethnicity. I like seeing the fighters who are skilled, who are talented, who talk a mean game and back it up. See, I grew up here in the streets of the windy city of Chicago, and they say if you're going to talk shit, back that thing up. And that's the main reason why I ended up liking Floyd Mayweather, because the boy used to talk a mean game, but he backed it up in the ring with his IQ, with his skills. And you know what? Same thing. Like when Manny Pacquiao fought Floyd Mayweather, I'm always been a huge Manny Pacquiao fan, and I loved him from the day he came out back in 2003 when he first was in San Antonio, Texas, where he beat it wasn't Morales. He beat Barrera. Yeah, I was in the military at that time. I was in Iraq actually when that happened. I was in my first deployment, and I just learned to admire him for his skill set. He's a humble guy and everything, but when it was Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, I was TMT all day. As a matter of fact, I got my hat that's got the Filipino flag, but it says TMT on it, the one that he specially made, because I admire the greatness that Floyd Mayweather did. You know what I mean? And one thing that I loved about Floyd Mayweather is that he embraced other cultures. He's got a huge fan base in Mexico. He's got a huge fan base in Puerto Rico, and I learned to appreciate Floyd Mayweather a little bit more when he fought against Miguel Cotto, because that fight, he was in the pocket all 12 rounds and he went toe to toe. So I've always been a person that's like, man, why are people race baiters instead of appreciating a fighter for his skill and his talent? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree, man. I definitely agree. I think when it comes to like Canelo, for example, like I see Canelo get a load of stick, man, a load of stick. We were talking about Andrade, for example.
Man. They don't know anything about boxing though. That's why they're going based off of their feelings and not over facts. And I mean, it's okay to have a debate. Like I could have a debate with any of you guys, and you guys can point out so many flaws, but I'm going to keep it respectful, and I'm going to go based off of logic, off of facts, and off of things, because I like to learn from other people. I like to get their insight so I can kind of have a thought process in my head where I'm like, man, maybe I have been missing ABC, but I'm not going to get into it with somebody just because of a certain race or a cultural issue or a religious issue. Man, just respect each other. Keep it cordial, keep it respectful, 110%. And that's how the world is going to heal itself from all this hatred and bigotry there's out here. You know what I mean? Just love each other. We're all humans. We just got different points of view. But I'd rather look. I don't know your background, but I know you're British, and I can from the UK. I used to be like European fighters. I've always respected them. I've always thought that the England itself has always created great fighters, but I've learned to admire boxers that came from Russia, from Kazakhstan, from that part of the Euro-Asian peninsula, because I've learned that, man, they're boxers over there, they're rugged, they're tough, they're come forward. You know what I mean? Just like how I could appreciate all old school black boxers that came either from down south or from the East Coast, from Philadelphia, Bernard Hopkins. You know what I mean? People who came out of the Bronx. My greatest of boxers that I loved was Muhammad Ali. I still think he's the greatest. You know what I mean? I just respect what's here and what's in the heart, and not based off of this. You get what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, I like Mayweather too, right? But from memory, the reason why Mayweather gets a lot of hate is because he doesn't endear himself maybe to the culture of that country. I'll give you an example. When Pacquiao won Fight of the Decade in the 2000, Mayweather didn't like that because, and I'm quoting him here, Mayweather said, and this is from his mouth, he said that, how does a guy who lost 3 or 4 times in a decade and I, he's saying I, meaning Floyd, I have never won, I have never lost in a decade. And he was saying something like, and then he went off at Pacquiao. He was saying something like, Philippines. He said that's I don't want to go to the Philippines. He goes, in Philippines, it's fucked up over there because that's not who I represent. And he said, fuck Puccio. You know what I mean? So that's on
Yeah,
HBO.
no, and
by
I
the way.
get it. No, I know what you're talking about. And again, if you want to get caught in that limelight or that energy, I mean, you got to understand two things. I'm defending someone's words if it sounds biased or bigot at any moment, but you know, Floyd is Floyd because of the fact that he spoke his mind. He was very open. Again, yeah, certain comments like that would make me angry, but at the same token, you got to understand he's an entertainer in front of the camera, and the man's got to go ahead and give that energy so he can
And
sell.
let me
It's
say
about
something too,
money.
man, real quick. Let me say
Steven,
something.
Steven, I wanted to ask you a
Let me
question.
hop off
Floyd
on here and
wasn't
say
really
something
liked
real
by his
quick.
community, though.
Go ahead, brother.
Steven, Floyd wasn't really liked by his community. There's a lot of people that don't like Floyd, Steven, from his own community. Steven,
Huh?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I got some issues. What's going on?
Yeah, so like I was saying to you that, there's a lot of people that didn't like Floyd from his own community, right?
Right. Man, pretty much, man. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Me personally, what I'm saying, I got my qualms with Floyd, but it ain't got nothing to do with, what I'm saying, because it got everything to do with how I saw him conduct himself outside of when he became when he went from pretty boy to being Money Mayweather. And let me tell you something about Floyd. Okay, in sports, there is such thing as being the heel, being the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Living up to that image. You got to be the one that people love to hate. And Canelo was the one that people love to hate, just like in wrestling. I don't know if y'all have wrestling over in the UK, or where you from, Lil Penny? Where exactly you from?
New
New
Zealand.
Zealand.
New Zealand by Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, near Australia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I need to update my geography. But I'll say this: um, there is a such thing as being the bad guy and being the heel, and that's what Floyd did. He embraced being the heel because there was a psychological component to it that he employed and he used in his arsenal. It just wasn't all about his skill. It was about his psychological warfare that he played outside of the ring. You dig what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
um I don't think Floyd really hated people from the Philippines. I don't think I seen him in many Pac-Man Pacquiao at a Lakers game, and they had love for each other. You know what I'm saying? I seen Amir Khan. One of the most beautiful things I seen here lately was I seen the boy Amir Khan and Terrence Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford is helping Amir Khan's trainer. Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen that.
Sorry about that.
Hey,
I ended
look,
up losing you guys.
oh, you lost us, man.
What happened?
But but yeah, man, that's one of the most beautiful things, man. When you a boxing brother, you a boxing brother. Lil Penny is my brother. Imran is my brother. Ash is my brother. Makai is my brother. I don't know him. I ain't group, but I feel like we all brothers. I feel like we all brothers. I feel like everybody in the comment section, everybody, James Deere, Brendan Jackson. I know some of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? And I love them all because we all brothers. We may have our disagreements and our qualms, and we might even get heated. But at the end of the day, man, these my brothers. We all share the same passion. Dig
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
and we
And
all
so,
have the exact same cause in life, and we all breathe the same air and believe in the same things, and we just got to move forward. Unfortunately, people don't think that way.
Hey, Steven, I like Chicago because of the Chicago Bulls and that, but the Chicago Bears, man, they are hopeless. Like, they never make the
Yeah,
playoffs, dude.
they're pretty bad, man.
And, yeah. Take a pot shot at my Bulls. Yeah, they suck. I know.
Not the Bulls. Y'all got DeMar DeRozan, man.
Oh no.
He's
Oh yeah,
solid,
he's one
boy.
of our. Oh yeah, he's one of our solid players. But Zach LaVine is back too, and he's kicking ass, man.
Hey, dude, he made the
Yeah,
All-Star game.
y'all looking good.
Hey, dude, DeMar DeRozan is a starter in the East.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
trust me. But the
But
Bulls
man,
are the Bulls are healing. The Bulls are healing. They're trying to recover.
Steven, I wanted to get your take on Fury-Whyte, man. You didn't give your opinion.
Man, you know, man. For some reason, man, I've never really been a big Dillian Whyte fan. For some reason, I don't know if it's his fighting style, but for some reason, I've never been a Dillian Whyte. But I can tell you this: that's gonna be a good fight because you know you got you got Fury. You know, doing he gonna sell the fight just off of him alone. Fury is just man to me. Fury's my best box, my favorite boxer at the moment. Did you know that?
Yeah,
He's
you
my
said.
favorite boxer at the moment because I like his style, his physique. I mean his stance, his approach to the game, and I think it's gonna be a hell of a fight because Dillian Whyte he ain't gonna come and lay down, but I see him getting the hands put on him though. He gonna get the paws put on. He might even go night.
You reckon? Do you
I
think
agree.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you on that one. I think Tyson Fury is gonna hurt him.
you not giving Dillian much of a shot then?
I'll give him a little bit of a chance. I mean, at this point in time, man, the heavyweights that are looking dangerous, I'm always going to lean towards Tyson Fury right now, just because, man, those three fights that he went toe to toe with Wilder were epic.
Let me
I'm
ask you a
sorry.
Yeah.
question then. Let me ask you a question. Who's got a better chance of winning? Dillian Whyte against Tyson Fury or Charlo against Canelo?
I say Dillian Whyte.
I'll say Dillian Whyte.
Or really, do you guys not give Charlo that any chance then?
Look, okay, you want to hear my honest opinion?
Yeah. Go on.
He's stuck.
Where's he gone? CO. Where you gone, brother?
He got stuck, man. He got stuck
Man,
in
he's
time,
stuck.
man.
He's froze, man. He's froze.
He got
It's
stuck in
freezing.
time. Like
It's
hit
freezing
the
in
strong
Chicago.
stick.
Steven, you give your opinion about that fight. Break that fight down. How do you see that? How do you see that one playing out?
Okay. I just don't think Jamal Charlo has the I don't think he's been in the ring with someone as powerful and as physically imposing as Canelo. And I don't think he's been in the ring with someone who has the level of expertise that Canelo has either. So if you take all that in consideration, yeah, the only thing you can really give Jamal Charlo is a puncher's chance, and a puncher's chance is not really enough to make a educated bet on. So I would say that Canelo is just that much more superior in every aspect. Now, something could happen. I mean, Canelo could get clipped and he can go night. I don't know. But if I was to make an educated assumption, an educated guess, I would say that Canelo is considerably better and favored in that fight. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd have to say, I think it'd be quite a big favorite against everybody at 168 or 160. Just at the minute, he's got so much confidence, so much momentum. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. You know what I mean? It's going to be difficult to kind of stop him at this particular point. Even like when he's fighting somebody that you'd say, oh, you know what? Because it's just the momentum, the experience that like he's just got a lot on his side, and Canelo's favored in fights as well. Like he generally gets favored by the close fights go his way. He's got the like
And you,
he's got it's gonna be difficult. Like I say, there's someone you're gonna have to be a killer to beat Canelo. You're gonna have to beat Canelo to win against.
yeah,
You're gonna have to beat him. Like I think you're gonna have to beat him
yeah.
into submission. You know what I mean?
And let me say something else too. Let me say something.
Yeah,
Let me squeeze this in real quick. I
yeah,
just want to squeeze this in real quick. Now, here is the thing, man. Here is the kicker, man. I'm gonna tell you. You get to a certain point in sports to where it takes little to no effort to win. And I mean, you have these like, take for instance,
Sorry about that. I'm right here.
Tom Brady or somebody like that, or Floyd Mayweather. They beat you because they beat you upstairs. You heard me say this before.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
think Canelo's to the point where everybody knows it's a sizable feat to overcome to even so it's all about if they have enough confidence, if they have enough heart to go in there and to just to step up to the plate. It's not all about the skill and the physicality. It's about where your mind is. You know what I'm saying? You agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that
Yeah,
statement. What
yeah,
you're saying,
yeah.
110%. I honestly, sorry, I got cut off earlier when you were asking me about giving Jamal Charlo a chance. I honestly think if Canelo doesn't knock him out by the 10th round, I honestly see Charlo going the distance because Charlo's he's no slump. The guy is a good, talented boxer. Both brothers actually are good, talented boxers.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm definitely,
I just think that Jamal don't have that killer instinct like Jamel.
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing because I'm like the which one called the one that's at 154. That's Jermel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
yeah. Jamel is the one
he
at
he he
154.
he displayed teeth, man. In the last fight when he went with Castano, that
Yeah,
that
they
was a
did.
good fight. That was probably one of his best performances that I up to date, at least in as far as 154. Maul, like I said, he can box, man. He just I feel like if he does engage toe to toe with Canelo, I think Canelo's gonna
It's gonna
tear him
be,
up in the pocket all day.
yeah, it's gonna be bad if he does that. He got to keep
Yeah,
Canelo on the outside from a distance, and
yeah,
he gonna
that's
have
what
to
I'm
be.
saying. He can. That's the thing about Maul that people are snoozing on him. Everybody believes that he's just all rugged, come forward. He's got that powerful jab. He's got that left hand. He's got that right hand, and he can throw a menacing hook. Yeah, he can, but he's also fleet-footed, man. He's demonstrated. The only time I saw him kind of lack that was when he ended up fighting against what's that Russian fighter? Koval. I think that was his.
Cover
Korobov, Korobov.
No,
up.
yeah,
Mhm.
that fight. No, with Derenchenko's from the Ukraine, but yeah, he that was a good performance. He performed way better. That's why I have no doubt that if Jamal Charlo if Jamal Charlo were to fight against what's his name against Triple G, it wouldn't. I'd have Triple G getting beat up. You know what I mean? It
I'll
went
be
that
back,
far.
guys. I'll be back. I'll be back here in a second.
I'll be back in a second too, guys.
And Jamal's got power too. His KO percentage is quite high. If you look at his record, his KO percentage is high.
Hmm. What do you, Makai? What do you make of it?
I think Charlo's going to knock him out.
Knock who out?
I'm joking. Come on, come on, guys. You should know me well enough. I'm not going to pick Charlo to knock Canelo out, especially Canelo. I mean,
I was about to say, man. I was
man,
like,
Yeah.
what have you been drinking, Makai?
like I don't even see Beterbiev actually knocking Canelo out. Like I don't see Canelo ever getting knocked out. Man, that guy's got an iron chin. Yeah, I want it to be a good fight. It's hard, man. I kind of see it going like the Canelo Jacobs fight. Because Jacobs and Charlo, they're a bit similar, really. They're both athletic and everything. Charlo, he may have the better jab, everything. I think Jacobs, he's got the faster hands. I think it'll just be a bit like that.
But Makai, he can't win against Canelo like that, especially if it's in Las Vegas, because we all know that
Yeah,
it will be up 2 rounds before the fight. He has to actually go in there and use his power and try to hurt him, like seriously hurt him, where he has to go into a danger zone and just risk it, because if he doesn't risk it, he's gonna lose on the cards, man. Because Canelo's got fast hands, he doesn't.
Yeah, and you know, and with this Canelo now, I mean, he's breaking faces. I mean, his power's just gone so much better. Like, I think I've been saying anyway, I feel it will go 12 rounds because Charlo, he is pretty tough. I mean, we still don't know yet fully, but I think it will go 12 rounds.
But Makai, I don't think he'll get intimidated though. Like, you know, with BJ Saunders and Plant and Smith, they kind of like got intimidated by Canelo's power or his aura. I don't think Charlo will be that. I think
Actually, Lil Penny made a good point there. Actually, because of how Charlo fights, he actually could get knocked out. He could get knocked out then, really.
He has to do that.
If you're saying, obviously, because I don't see Charlo, you know, being on the back foot using his jab. He doesn't fight like that.
Makai, he has to do what like Marquez did to Pacquiao in their 4th fight. Like Marquez knew that he wasn't going to get a decision in Las Vegas against Pacquiao, right? So he had to go all in, like not 100%, 120%, where he's risking himself in there and just throw haymakers, man, like as hard as you can. Like, you know what Marquez did in the 3rd round or 2nd round against Pacquiao, and he knocked him down. Yeah, stuff like that. Like, because you're not going to win a decision against Canelo in Las Vegas. It's not going to happen. Even if you win like 8 rounds to 4, Las Vegas will switch that to 7 rounds to 5 for Canelo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. With Charlo, he uses his size to get the win. I mean, and you know, I don't think his size will work against a guy like Canelo. I mean, Canelo, he's fought bigger guys. And I mean, I'm not making excuses for Charlo, but he's going up to 168. Yeah, he's already bigger than Canelo at the weight cut. Like, it's not like nothing with that. It's just he's going to be slower. It's not like he's going to be faster or anything.
Yeah. Oh my God, he has to fight dirty, man. Fight dirty, like push Canelo to the ground. Maybe hit him in the balls. Maybe I don't know, like you know what I mean. Like fight dirty, kind of like what Maidana did against Mayweather in the first fight.
Lil Penny, I think Canelo will be dirty back. I mean, imagine Canelo flipping. I mean, we've seen his body shots. Imagine him flipping, swinging on Charlo's nuts. Like, bro, that's not gonna be nice. That's not gonna be nice at all. He'll just do it right back to him.
Yeah, Canelo's got that rough side. You know, like Floyd, when Maidana, like Floyd didn't have the physical strength to do that back to him. But Canelo does.
I mean, who do you think's physically stronger, Charlo or Canelo?
I don't know. Probably Canelo.
It's crazy to think that, isn't it? Because of how big Charlo is. But even I think Canelo might be like physically stronger. Like when they're like in a clinch, if you know what I mean. Like Canelo will just feel a lot stronger.
But that's not really Charlo's game though. Like clinching. That's more Canelo's game.
Yeah, I get what you mean. With Charlo, he uses his jab a lot, but he's not like on his back foot using it, if you know what I mean. Like how Plant is, you know, he's using a guy coming forward, using his jab, and like he gets you. He tries getting you into a corner maybe, like, and then he starts unloading on you. But obviously, though, that kind of like game plan only works on, you know, guys like obviously the people he's been fighting. But you know, he's gonna be fighting someone who's gonna be putting him on the back foot. You know, and Charlo is most likely going to be on his back foot fighting Canelo, and he's not used to doing stuff like that, so he'll be uncomfortable doing it. I mean, I think you guys know when, you know, I mean, look at Callum Smith, and look at what Canelo done to him. I mean, Smith, he never fights like that, and because Canelo made him fight like that, I mean, look how bad he looked. I mean, the guy didn't even throw a punch really, because he was knackered. Like throwing on the back foot is knackering.
Yeah, Canelo, Canelo really dominated Smith. That was a very dominant performance.
I mean, and
He's
Smith, like, he was undefeated. I mean, he had a lot of hype on him still.
Yeah, Canelo absolutely battered. Like, he battered Callum Smith. That was a really poor fight. It was a mismatch.
And what he done to Callum Smith's arm as well, man. Like, it was so clever what he done, like making him. Because that was Smith stronger. That was his check hook that he always does. I mean, Canelo hit it so much he literally gave him a fat lump. Like, Smith couldn't even move it really. Like, it was just so clever what he was doing.
But I think this Charlo fight will be closer than like the Plant fight or the BJ Saunders fight or the Smith fight. Don't you think?
I think Charlo will take more risks, and it could make him get knocked out.
Yeah, I think Charlo. Well. Yeah, I think Charlo will take more risks. Like he'll actually go for the win, whereas the Plant, BJ Saunders, and Smith, they were just trying to survive. I don't think Charlo will try to survive. I think he will, especially in the first round, he will show Canelo that I'm going for the win here. Like, I'm not just like these other guys that are like coming in here for the payday. I'm here to beat you. I think he'll show that in the first round, and then mate, it's up to him to take the risks. I don't think Canelo is like Mayweather, where it's so impossible to beat him. I think Canelo is beatable. You can see that against Triple G. Just use that template.
But I will admit, Triple G took a lot of punishment in the process of doing what he did. That's why Triple G and Canelo, they're so. I mean, people even think Golovkin won that fight. I mean, that's what it is. You need to be. I mean, Golovkin, he's such a good boxer. I mean, some people think Golovkin was just tough. That's what gave him success. No, not that at all. The guy was just a great boxer. Great technique, great jab, power. He just knew, what he was doing. And it's exactly what Junior Delgado said about Canelo will destroy Charlo with mental pressure. That's what I was trying to say. The mental pressure and everything. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because there's no way Canelo's going to be on the back foot. Like he's just going to make. I just feel he's going to make Charlo quite uncomfortable. But Charlo, he will take risks. I feel, and it likely could get knocked out.
Yeah.
Very well likely.
What do you make of Fury and Whyte, Mackay?
Oh, I'm glad the fight's done. But who on earth would have thought Frank Warren would have been putting 41 million on it?
Yeah, it's a lot of money, man.
Who on earth would have thought that? Frank, man, he's a slick bastard, isn't he? No one would have thought that.
Mackay, why is the fight? Imran, why is the fight in Wales? Shouldn't it be in England?
It's not in Wales.
Yeah,
I heard it's in Wales.
Is it?
Well, that's their target date. Yeah, like their target date's April 23rd in Cardiff, Wales. Yeah.
All right, bloody hell, that's surprising.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe that's the biggest stadium that they can get hold of.
Yeah, AJ he fought there as well in Cardiff.
This is gonna be like a sellout, man. It's gonna be like, it's gonna be big.
So you're saying at that date there's no available venue in London because there's soccer?
Oh no, there definitely is. There definitely is. I mean, it will be actually. Well, if they're doing it in April. It could be. It could be quite difficult to get a
because the football goes on, isn't it?
The football, the football and everything. Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense doing Cardiff. I mean, my dad he wants to go there. He wants to travel up there, stay there for the weekend. So.
I think
I don't mind where it is.
Yeah. Dillian Whyte, I don't know. Like, I like Dillian Whyte, but I don't think he's got a hope of beating Fury because, Fury is just too long, great boxer, and I don't think Dillian Whyte can reach him. To be honest. What Tyson Fury is what 6'7"? Dillian
6'9".
Whyte's
He's
6'9".
6'9", yeah.
Dylan Whyte's what 6 feet only? Like 10.
No, he's Dylan Whyte is like
6'3".
6'3".
Oh,
Yeah,
6'3".
6'3".
Okay.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
he's still a lot smaller than
He
Fury.
looks
I
short. He looks
Let
short.
me ask you this then, guys. Who's got a better chance of winning? Charlo against Canelo or Dillian Whyte against Fury?
Oh, Imran, you with the hard questions. That's a hard question, because I mean I don't like Fury, but I mean he's a very good fighter.
Mm.
That's a tough one. I'd probably give White more of a chance because he well, let's just say he can land one of those on Fury. We've seen Fury go down. It's not like he's got some iron chin like Canelo. I mean, I'd bet money that White could land his shot and get Fury out, then Charlo landing a shot and getting Canelo out. So that's just how I'd probably look at it. So I'd probably lean more towards White and Fury.
Yeah, I agree too. Because Charlo, he's not going to knock out Canelo. Worst case for him, that it goes the distance, and he won't win that decision either. Whereas White, he has a puncher's chance against Fury. I don't think he'll land, but he has a puncher's chance. Yeah, but for me, the more exciting fight is like if you're giving me a choice to watch these two fights and they're on at the same time, I'm watching Canelo versus Charlo.
Oh, God, Penny, you
I
got
don't
a
know,
question
man.
as well, man.
Thing is, tell you why, because heavyweights, you never know with heavyweights. Like, if Dillian Whyte lands a big one, Fury could go to sleep.
Yeah,
Do you know what?
Imran Mackay, I'm not into if there's a welterweight and a heavyweight, and just because there's a heavyweight, I'm gonna watch that. I'm not really into that. I'm more into the matchups. I just prefer the Canelo Alvarez fight because I think there'll be more ebbs and flow in the fight. Whereas with Fury Dillian Whyte, I kind of know how that will go. Because Dillian Whyte's lost so many. He lost to Povetkin. He got knocked out cold too. Whereas Jamel Charlo, he's undefeated, man. His KO ratio is actually quite high. So, and also, I don't get this this heavyweight aura. If you look at the highest pay-per-view numbers of all time, say the top 10, there's probably only one or two heavyweight fights there. The rest are welterweights and middleweights. So it's not where people say, heavyweight carries boxing. No, it doesn't. Welterweights have carried boxing for a long time. Even the days in the 80s with Leonard, Hearns, Hagler, and you know what I mean, and Duran, they weren't heavyweights. You know what I mean? So if you look at the pay-per-view numbers, because the numbers don't lie, right? The top 5, they're probably all welterweights, right?
Yeah.
Or super welterweights. So I'm not in that heavyweights because heavyweight we gotta watch it. I'm more into the matchups.
I mean, with me and it, well, I'm not gonna say him because I don't know, but with me, we have been wanting Fury to fight White for quite a while. I mean, obviously we wanted to fight AJ, but that fight, that's been called for as well, and they're both British fighters. And I'm British, so I'll probably just watch that. But that's probably why, just because they're two of our biggest fighters.
Now, Mackay. If it was Canelo Charlo and had the option of watching that fight or Wilder AJ right in London, then I would watch AJ versus Wilder because it's a better matchup than Canelo Charlo. You know what I mean?
That thing is though that fight could literally possibly end in one round. I mean, they're both hard punchers. It's just who lands first, really. That fight could be over, and then you could skip the channel and go to the Canelo fight.
I'm looking for. Guys. I want to ask you. About Andrade. Is he ducking Johnny back?
Of course he is.
Yes.
Yes, Andrade is, and I've heard that he's the purse bids are due in like 10 days for him to fight Zach Parker for a vacant for like the interim belt. Like, I think we all know he's gonna win that, man. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I mean, he's gonna win that fight.
And Makai Imran, Andrade can't say that. He keeps saying, "Oh, Canelo ducked me at 154 or 160, and I was his mandatory." And here he is, he's ducking his own mandatory. So it's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
yeah, Andrade doesn't know Andrade makes no sense when he opens his mouth.
Andrade should.
Why can't he get a big fight?
I mean, the thing is, man, like he actually has a chances to get big fights. I mean, not with obviously Charlo, of course. I mean, it's clear as day Charlo's not interested in them. But like, I mean,
why not though? Why isn't he not interested, Charlo?
Honestly, I don't know. He's a bit like Andrade, really. Well,
because Makai Imran, he's a high risk, low reward type fighter. He kind of like he reminds me of this fighter, but this fighter actually was very exciting to watch. He reminds me of Aaron Pryor, like back in the 80s, where like the Four Kings didn't want to fight him because it's a high risk because his punch output was so high, but it's a low reward because he doesn't have that stature. It's kind of like the same thing with Andrade, even though Andrade doesn't have that punch output, but he's more of a high risk, low reward. So why would you want to fight him unless Andrade takes a really low purse? Like, say he fights say Charlo, for example, he'll say, okay, Jamal, you take 80% and I'll take 20, even though Andrade deserve 40% of the purse, but I'll take 20 just to get you in the ring. Kind of like what Brook is doing to Amir Khan. You know what I mean? Like that kind of. That's probably the only way where he gets a big fight.
Do you think that Johnny Beck would have beaten Andrade?
Nah, I think Andrade will beat him. Andrade's skilled, man. Andrade's got skills.
That Janabek, I mean, he's undefeated now. Obviously, they don't mean anything, but his amateur career, I think he had like 300 something fights, 300 something wins, like only like 5 losses. I mean, this guy is really good. Like, he's Kazakh stars. He keeps on staying. Like that, he's proper. I mean, he very well likely could be like a Golovkin. I mean, he doesn't fight like Golovkin, but like he could very well likely dominate that division. And
Andrade's huge, man.
Be avoided like Golovkin was on his. Yeah, but
and Andrade's huge for 160. Like his shoulders are like a it's like an aircraft carrier. It's like so big. He should be at 168.
I mean, well, he's at 168 now. So, but I mean, it's just going to be the same old thing. He's just going to keep on fighting guys that no one really cares about. And then he's just going to be saying, oh, I'm avoided. No one wants to fight me. And his fans are going to say it as well. Like, oh, Andrade's the most avoided fighter ever. Like,
and he's getting up there in age too.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an old man now.
I mean, I think he's like 35.
Yeah. Maybe people will just wait until he's like 38 and then get him on the downside of his career, just to put an Andrade in their resume.
Yeah, but having Andrade in their resume don't mean nothing, though. Don't mean nothing.
That's hard.
It doesn't mean. I'm sorry, it just don't. Like, you think people are going to remember Andrade in like 20 years?
Nah.
Yeah,
unless he was to do something. No one's going to remember him.
Yeah, unless he was to do something very good.
Yeah, he has to take a financial risk, man. Like ask one of these guys, like ask Plant to fight him, but Plant, you take 70%, I'll take 30 just to get in the ring, so he wins that. Then his next fight, he can then demand a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to fight him if it's a 50-50 split. Like, it's too. There's no compensation for it because the money's not going to be there for both of them. Like to get a 50-50 split. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So he's gonna fight Zach Parker for the eliminator for the WBO title, right? If he beats Zach Parker, what does that mean? He's the mandatory to Canelo Alvarez then?
It should do, yes. But I mean, with Canelo, I mean, I still don't know who he's picking, but like obviously if you pick Charlo, he'll be fine at 168. But I mean, surely after he beats Charlo, he's gonna move up.
Yeah.
I mean, he very well likely could stay at light heavyweight campaign now. I mean,
yes.
I don't know what Canelo's gonna do, but Canelo's even said he doesn't care about Andrade. He's not interested. As he said, he's a horrible fighter. So it's just, I don't know, man.
I think after Charlo, he might fight Benavidez at 175 and then maybe fight Beterbiev or Bivol. I think this is his last fight at 168 against Charlo, if he fights Charlo.
If he fights Benavidez at 175, that'll be the best Benavidez we'll see.
Oh, yeah. Benavidez will be huge, man.
And he's going to be huge. He's going to be even more powerful. He's going to be faster because, Benavidez,
he'll have more energy.
He missed weight.
Mackay, he'll have more energy too because when making 168, it was really hard for him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's missed weight like loads of times, so he'll feel great at 175.
And it's an all Mexican fight per se, even though Benavidez is American Mexican. But it will be like De La Hoya versus Chavez, kind of like that sort of an aura. You know what I mean? By the way, speaking of that, have you guys seen the that documentary of De La Hoya and Julio Cesar Chavez? And it's produced by, or it's backed by Eva Longoria. She's the one that put up the money for that documentary. I've seen the trailer.
The actress.
Yeah, the actress. Yeah, she funded it because she's quite wealthy herself.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really good, man. It shows like the lead up to their first fight, and then their rematch. Because at that time, Oscar De La Hoya wanted Julio Cesar Chavez's fan base, but because he was De La Hoya was like the first Mexican American to be really popular, and he thought that by beating Chavez, he would get the Mexican fan base, and it didn't happen. They actually hated him. So he rematched him again just to remind them, you come and support me now. But they never did in a way. But but De La Hoya probably in terms of popularity, he probably was bigger than Chavez, and you can say that quite safely because De La Hoya's pay-per-view numbers are way better than Chavez's pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah.
It's a really good documentary. I haven't seen the whole lot, but the trailer is really good.
I'll check it out then. That'll be a good watch. I mean, have you guys seen apparently the Cambosis Haney fight is in doubt because I think Haney's like pricing himself out, like he's trying to ask for a lot of money. So now Cambosis is trying to fight Loma or Ryan Garcia. I mean, Loma fight, I don't care about that fight. I like that fight. That's a better fight to me. Would you guys agree with the Loma fight, or do you want to see the Haney one?
I want the Haney one.
I don't. Because to be honest, man, I just want to see I just want to see, like, Haney's right. Lomachenko had his chance and he got beat by Lopez. I think Haney deserves his shot now. And maybe then he can fight the winner.
Loma, Loma, he's had some very good wins. I mean, Loma, he's beaten Aktani, Comey, and actually like very good fashion as well. Like,
Yeah, but Haney's also beaten like Linares. He beat who did he fight? Jojo Diaz. That was a good win. So Haney's done some bits as well, to be fair.
Yeah, he has done some bits, but I mean, obviously not you, but like how Haney talks about Loma sometimes, I just I don't like how he talks about him sometimes. So
Yeah,
didn't
he mention something like about Lomachenko that I never let a white boy beat me?
Yeah, it's like there you
That
go.
was that was a bit
stupid.
out of order.
Yeah, it was stupid. And I mean,
I don't like that. I don't know why. I don't know why people say shit like that. To be honest,
exactly.
That's quite racist, isn't it?
Yeah, it is racist. Yeah.
I hope Haney doesn't price himself out, because Loma will not price himself out. If he has to take a lower purse, Loma will do that, and he's done that in the past, and he'll travel overseas too.
Right. Well, how I look at this. Oh, sorry.
No, you go, Mikhail. I'm finished.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I was just saying, like, with Haney, right? He is going into enemy territory. Okay, he's going to Cambos's hometown in Australia. I mean, right? We already know how that went when Manny Pacquiao went there, right? we know exactly what happened. I mean, the ref was letting Horn headbutt, elbow, and everything, and he got robbed.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Haney it's not Haney's going to go for the kill and knock him out. Haney's going to be on his back foot, try and outbox him. Let's just say he outboxes him. There is no way in hell he's getting a decision there.
Yeah, I agree.
No way in hell, because he's not going to fully outbox Cambos. Just like Cambos is not going to land anything with him. Like, it's going to be a pretty good fight. But Haney might get the better of him, but it's going to be close. It's not like, not close, like, he's just not going to get the nod. Like, he's just going to have no fans there.
Mackay, which might deserve a rematch, but in America.
In America. But will Cambosos do it? Cambosos probably will go around saying, I want better fights now. I mean, the Ryan Garcia fight. Well, I mean, that's if Ryan is actually fights.
Why don't Ryan Garcia fight what's his name, Cambosos? Because that's a very winnable fight for Ryan Garcia. And to be honest with you, it's a fight where you're fighting for all the marbles. It makes a lot of sense, actually, don't it?
But Ryan doesn't deserve it.
But Ryan
I know he doesn't deserve it, but if they can pay him enough money, like if you're Golden Boy, it's a calculated risk, isn't it?
But he's not going to travel overseas, though. He's not going to risk his O for that. He'll always fight.
Yeah, you don't think it's worth risking his O to become a 3 belt holder?
Not in Australia. If the fight was in America, I think he'll do it, but not in Australia, because you know how shady.
I mean, he's already having mental problems now. Imagine him going to Australia. No one's gonna. I mean, man, he's gonna get. He's just gonna have no fans there. Like, he's gonna be in like, and it's crazy in Australia as well. I mean, I spoke to a couple of them. They're like, I spoke to a couple of them as well, like how they are and all that. So.
If Cambosos fights Haney, Loma, or Garcia, the fans are going to turn up. There'll be at least 80,000, 80 to 90,000 in that arena for sure. No doubt.
But with me, I mean, I don't mind what fight we go. Well, I mean, I will mind if you get the Ryan Garcia fight, because that would annoy me a little, because I just feel he don't deserve it.
Mackay, just to answer the real guest's question.
Yep.
I think it's on the Zone. I think from memory, I can't remember. But so he's saying, is it on any streaming platform, Blue Penny? Do you know the full name of it? I think he's referring to that Eva Longoria documentary with De La Hoya.
Yeah.
I think it's on the Zone. Maybe you guys check that out. I think it's on the Zone.
Yeah, I think he.
Yeah, sorry, Imran, you go.
I think someone answered it. I think Rag. I think one of them answered it in the chat. So yeah, I think they answered that already. Someone's already answered it, I think. Yeah, the documentary. Neither Jojo or Linares were top 535 pounders. What do you think, Little Penny, about that?
I think Linares is a pretty good 135. Jojo Diaz is good too, man. Like, that's a really good test.
You know, some people.
Wasn't Jojo Diaz supposed to fight Ryan Garcia? Like,
yeah, he was. Yeah,
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Haney beat him, to be fair. Haney beat him soundly.
Mm.
You know, that's what I mean. Haney's got some good wins of late.
Yeah, he does.
But Imran, do you with Haney, when he fights guys like Loma, I
Yeah.
don't like. I mean, you gotta have power to like make Loma a bit, make him a bit wary, a bit like in the Lopez fight. I mean, even when Loma started throwing punches, he still wasn't, like as he usually is, like angles, boom, boom, like playing with him a little, like he usually did. Because I mean, Lopez, he had power; he could literally get you out with one punch. But Haney, he hasn't got that. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I kind of see Loma like stopping him. Like, I just see him beating Haney up. I really do.
I don't know about stopping him, Mackay, but I do see a point. Yeah, he doesn't have the power to get Loma off him, whereas Lopez did. That's why Loma wasn't that close to him. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I agree with that. I think
he's got a lot of flaws as well, Haney. Haney's got a lot of flaws.
Yeah, you gotta fight dirty sometimes with Loma. That's why I think Cambosa's probably got a better chance of beating Loma, because he can fight dirty. He can, he has power. You know what I mean? Like, whereas Haney's more of a pot shotter per se, and man, that plays in the hands of Loma because Loma is better at that than Haney, and that's Haney's kind of like that's his best attribute. But Loma is better at that than him with better footwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Loma. How I rate him. I kind of just see Loma beating everyone in that weight class. I even see him. I mean, I even think. I even want to see him rematch Lopez. Like, he beats Lopez in a rematch. I mean, it's fairly obvious he does as well. I think. Like, as soon as he started throwing punches in round 7, he was winning. He was actually he showed he was the better fighter. He just started so late. Like, you know what I think it was? He was very wary about the power, and then he felt it. He was like, "Oh, okay, then. Like, that's fine. I can do this now then." And then he went for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I thought it was, because that happens a lot. You could be very wary about something.
Yeah. Lopez never dominated Loma. In fact, Loma had more of the defining shots. It's just that Lopez won more rounds.
Do you know what? I actually scored it a draw. I gave Loma. Do you know why? Because obviously Loma won the second half, but I gave Loma the second round because like Lopez actually didn't do anything in that round either. I mean, and when he did, I mean, he was just touching Loma's guard. But then near the end, Loma landed quite a few punches on him. Like, he landed like 4 clean punches on him near the end. So that's what won in the round for me. So I actually scored it a draw.
I thought it was close, but I wasn't surprised that Lopez won it. But if Loma had won it, I would have been a little surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the scorecards were ridiculous. Like, didn't one have like Lopez winning like 10 rounds? Like, it would be like surely not 10 rounds.
Was it Adelaide good?
Like, I think probably. I think someone gave Lopez like 8 rounds. I think.
In which fight? The one that he had with Cambosos?
No, the one he had with Loma.
All right. Yeah, I thought Loma was off it in that fight.
Yeah, I mean,
he was off the boil. He was something not right.
I mean, it's just, obviously, because as I said, he felt wary. It's just Lopez. He's not. I mean, he's not a great boxer. I mean, I think he's obviously a bit overrated. We overrated him from the Loma win. Well, people did. It's just his gifts and how like his size and everything, his power. That's just what won him it, really. Well, kind of won him it. I scored a draw, but you know what I mean. That was just it. I just don't think he's not really a good boxer though.
Hey, Mackay, Imran, do you know who can beat Loma at 135?
Who?
Shakur Stevenson. When
No.
When he moves up.
Oh, Loma, right? Like that's way too early for Stevenson to put him in there with someone like Loma. Loma's got the speed, the angles, the pressure, just the experience overall and everything. Like he would just be too much for Stevenson.
How old is Shakur?
He's only like 23.
No, he should take that fight, man, because Canelo fought Mayweather at that age. Pacquiao fought Barrera at 24. You gotta take those risks, man. Like, because man, if you fight when you're gonna fight your big fight, like when you're 26, 27, like, man, that's a bit late, man. And it's not like it's a super fight, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta take those risks, like for example, Amir Khan too. Didn't he fight, like, didn't he take a lot of risk when he was in his early 20s as well?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, 140 pound. He fought everybody.
Yeah,
took a lot of risk, man.
I don't like this waiting game, man. Like, I don't like the fact that Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, they're not fighting, dude. Those guys like Thurman and Porter not Porter, like Bud Crawford, dude, they're not going to give you opportunity because they know that you're killers. So one way to become relevant is to fight each other. That way, and you can even have rematches. So you get the paydays, you become relevant, or both of you will become relevant. That way, you are now like you're like the men of that so that it entices Bud or to fight you.
Yeah, 100%. What about what was I gonna say? So EK wants to jump in. Let me get the link in for EK. One sec.
Shakur, he's very good fighter, man. But I hope they don't rush him. Like Aram, he seemed like he really wanted Shakur to fight Loma. Like he really wants that fight, but that's just
guys, you there?
Too much of the big step for me. You
guys,
can't.
You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah. Shakur's big too, Makai.
He's big,
guys,
but yeah, we can hear you.
Can Imran hear us?
I can't hear Makai.
Can you hear me, Imran? Imran, can you hear me? Okay, guys, but you can't hear Makai? Makai, say something.
In the house. EK, what's going on, brother?
Imran, can you not hear me?
EK?
Hey, yo, Penny, I can say whatever I want. You won't be able to hear me. Imran, you suck.
Hey, EK, how are you?
Guys, you there?
Hello?
Yo, I'm here. How's everyone doing?
Something.
You're not too bad. You yourself?
Doing well, man. Doing well. What are you guys talking about today?
Well, at the moment we're talking about Shakur Stevenson. Obviously, Lil Penny. I think he thinks he can beat Loma.
No, not right now.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too much for it. They're rushing him a bit.
To be honest, yeah, I think no, I don't think it's a huge step for him because he has all the talent. But I just think Loma is better, and I think it'll be a nice, it'll be a 12-round decision. But I think, but it's good that these young guys are wanting to fight Loma. Like, I appreciate it. I think everyone, and and someone was mentioning Virgil Ortiz. I think he's one of the best prospects out there. And I think his last fight against I think the guy's nickname is the Monster, the European dude. I forget his name. He fought Bud Crawford. He fought Bud Crawford.
Velasquez.
Yeah.
Velasquez.
Velasquez.
Yeah. I think Virgil, like, really, what's it called? Even though he didn't have his main trainer in the corner, I think he knocked out that guy faster than Bud Crawford, and that guy hurt Bud Crawford, and he hurt Virgil Ortiz. So I think Boots Ennis is like more skilled than technically more skilled than Virgil Ortiz, but I think Virgil Ortiz has he's fought like better opposition than Boots, way better
Yeah, I
opposition.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to help him because I think Virgil Ortiz is I don't think he's too worried about losing. I think he just wants to like he's not going to go down that route like where he's going to avoid because he's literally called Bud Crawford out. He actually wants to fight Bud Crawford, so I think that's a really big telling sign that he's going to achieve a lot of things in his career. I think you can look at even if you look at what's his name, who recently retired. Sean Porter, like everyone respects him and admires him as one of the toughest guys in the division, even though he's lost. I think all these young guys that are gonna fight, like from Devin Haney to Ryan Garcia to Tank, all these like young upcoming. Tank is not young and upcoming, but like based on his resume, I'd say like I think they're all gonna lose, and I don't think it's gonna affect like once they're retired. No one's gonna be like it's not gonna be a huge. I think that's changing in boxing, which is a good thing.
I mean, with Tank, I feel they're gonna make him go the Mayweather route. I mean, how old's Tank anyway? How old is he?
Probably
I think he's like close to 30. He's like late 20s.
27.
He's 27.
Yeah.
Jesus. And I mean, and people are still saying, "Oh, Tank's young. Give him time." He's 27.
Yeah.
But how many fights has he had? How many fights has he had?
He's had I don't know actually, but I mean, he's been at the top level for ages now.
He's fighting Rolly Romero next. That's the
Rolly
next.
Romero is so bad.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like, I just
honestly,
know
guys,
exactly.
like, when it comes to Tank, like he's a great talent. But could you imagine if Loma was to fight Rolly? Like everyone would be freaking out. Like, why is he fighting Rolly? Why is he fighting that? Even if like Ryan Garcia was to fight Rolly, people would like complain, right? And I feel like I just feel like Ryan has a reason.
You know what would be a
fight
better
someone.
fight? Okay, you know what would be a better fight for Tank is to rematch Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, is that really? I think they had to do that because like Rolly fell out, right? I don't think that's a. I think he's just going for the commercial fights. Like Rolly he's gonna sell the fight well, right? Yeah. So I think they're just going down that route. I don't think. I think it'll be nice. I think Tank does want to fight like Loma and everything, and I think Mayweather is waiting for Loma to get a little old because he's actually said they're gonna wait for him to get old, which is like bullshit. Like why? Yeah, which is why, like, why would you even say that? Even if that is your game plan, like, why would you be so shameless to say, look, we're gonna wait for that guy to get weaker so we can fight him? That's so weak.
Because that's what they did to Pacquiao. That's what Mayweather did to Pacquiao. He waited to get for him to get.
Oh, Lil Penny, you sure you want to say that? You're gonna upset James Deere. Is he in the lights?
Lil Penny, I disagree because I feel like even back then, because Mayweather was old too, they were both old, right? So I don't think that's a good comparison. Because Mayweather, it wasn't like Mayweather was a super young guy. He was pretty old when they fought together.
Now, what I was saying, is that.
But with that Mayweather, I mean, credit to him. He was always in the gym. He stayed. He didn't drink. It's not like he beat his body up smoking. So credit to him. He stayed in shape and everything. That's why he. But
Manny was never out of shape too, you know. But Manny wasn't always like he wasn't like Manny was in good shape too. But
I get what you mean.
But obviously it would have been a better fight if it was like 6 years before. But like it's just like we're living in a different era, and I've learned to accept like not to compare because I'm not actually what we want as fans because. This a bit.
Joe G. Valdez makes a point here. It says, but Floyd fought him after the Marquez KO in the fourth one. I think that was a huge changer because after that Marquez fight, Manny got a little like he wasn't like his Hurricane style anymore. I think he said this earlier, a couple of months before. It was a completely different. Not completely, but he wasn't as aggressive anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's a lot to do with his Christian faith. Like he became more religious, he became like a lot more like humanitarian. He became a little more civilized from when he was younger. It's not just that the knockout. I just think his, you know, even when he faced Keith Thurman, like he didn't go for the kill, even when he almost had Keith out.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I think Manny was going for the kill, but he didn't have enough energy because he's old.
yeah. I mean, you could see in the second half he was an old man. Like,
but he almost knocked him out in the second half with a body shot. Remember, you guys? But then he tried. He couldn't. He had no energy to actually get him out of there. I remember, like after he got him, he had a very good 10 seconds of going for it, and then after that he slowed down badly. He just couldn't.
Yeah. And you can Mackay, you can tell that on the Ugas fight, like Manny had no energy whatsoever.
Oh man, I you know what? I haven't watched that Ugas fight back. I only watched it live. I'm never watching that fight ever again.
Yeah, he looked like
it was so depressing to see Pacquiao. Like we saw that was the right. We saw that was when we saw Pacquiao. What's the words? What's the word when you're not like the same fighter anymore? Like you're done. Like
shot to bits.
Yes.
Yeah, shot. But I was thinking of another word. Like this is generally when like Father Time got him. Like he's not. Yeah. No, he's not a fighter.
Mackay, it reminds me of when Sugar Leonard fought. What's his name? Like Macho Camacho. It's like this great fighter.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking, why is he like not moving? It's because he's old.
Yeah.
Nah,
the worst case of that.
The worst case of that was when Larry Holm fought Muhammad Ali. I can never watch that fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, that was like the worst. That really made me like dislike boxing for a while. Like when I first saw that, it was like the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
And AK, he had Parkinson's already at that time. Like
he was fighting with like bad health even during the third Joe Frazier fight. I think he should have retired. Honestly, if it was like the best for Ali would have been after the George Foreman fight, he should have just retired, bro. Like that would have been so much better.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
With Ali, when he fought Foreman and Frazier, he wasn't actually at his best.
Yes.
Was he? He wasn't at his best.
Because the 2-year layoff, because the government fucked him over because he didn't go to Vietnam to fight or to promote the war, and then they stripped his license for boxing and his visa, so he couldn't even travel and make money.
Exactly. Yeah. So he wasn't actually at his best. Yeah, GSC. Yeah, you said it. We watched the live decline of Pac-Man during that Ugas fight. Yes, that's perfectly said there. Yeah, it was just a live decline of him.
Yeah, but you know what really got me is that. Sorry, you go.
No, you go. Little Penny, you go.
I was just about to say that Ugas's overhand right was so slow that even I can see it, right? Like I can see it coming. But Pacquiao, it's like he's thinking of countering him. You can tell with his eyes. He's thinking about it, but he can't throw it.
I mean, right. Did we see Pacquiao? Did we see Pacquiao even bounce on his feet once in that fight? No. Like he was so flat. He was even more flat-footed than Canelo.
When the intros when the announcers announcing like in the red corner.
Oh yeah,
he was bouncing there, but in the fight he wasn't bouncing at all.
he couldn't. His body was telling
because he couldn't come in. Yeah, and also like he was training like for 2 months or more for. What's his name? Errol Spence, right? And I think Ugas' style, the Cuban, like he's more slick than he's way more slick than Errol Spence, right? So it's like a way harder. In that sense, it was way harder fight. So it was like I don't know why he took that fight. So if Errol Spence got injured, he should have just like taken. I don't know, like maybe push the fight to December or something. But like
what I found strange about it is that. Ugas had a really, really good game plan for a guy who just, came in on a week notice.
Yeah,
I found that very, very strange. But
Ugas' sparring partners were apparently a lot of left-handers, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I just found the shady happening
Errol's a southpaw too. Errol's a southpaw too. Errol is a southpaw, right? So maybe he was like just just in case Manny gets injured. He was already on call, I think.
I
Like,
don't know.
if either guy
It was
gets
just it was all strange, but I don't like being all like getting all into it, like conspiracy theories, whatever you call them. But
yeah.
it was just very strange, man. Like he had such a good game plan for just a week
did.
notice, like.
Yeah.
And I mean Pacquiao. I mean, it was very obvious Pacquiao didn't actually really have a game plan. I mean, look what happened in the fight.
No, I think he did have a game plan, but he just couldn't execute.
Yeah, and it was that as well. He couldn't execute. I mean, but I was literally shouting as well, like bounce on your feet. Like if he was just using his feet, if he was just using his feet, he would have been a lot more better.
It looked like
Yeah,
he had
maybe-
like stones.
Maybe he pulled a muscle in his like ankle or something, or his thigh or something. Maybe that's because there's no reason for him not to do it. So maybe he
it
pulled
was
something
very
while.
strange.
EK, I reckon it's all of the wars that he's been to. Like when he was like at 112, like fighting these Thailand guys, and then fighting the Mexicans in the featherweights, and then fighting all of these guys at welterweights, like including the brutal knockout with Marquez. I think it just caught up to him, man. Like, and also he fought Bradley 3 times, like in his 30s. He fought Vargas and these guys like Rios and Thurman and Broner in the late 30s. I think it just caught up to him, man. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I can't believe that Manny fought Broner. That was like so out of the blue. It was like so random to me. That was, like,
with
the
all
most
of
random
the
fight.
EK, with all of the brutal fights that Manny had, especially at featherweight, physically he should have really retired in his mid 30s or even in his early 30s. Usually that's the case when you have wars like that at featherweight. But for some reason he still went on in his 40s, which is kind of like is a little bit of a miracle because even like guys like Morales and Barrera, like they didn't last that long. Like, you know what I mean? Like even Marquez, like after the fight, he retired.
I think for some people, like obviously if you don't know anything about like living that lifestyle, when you're doing something from like since you're a toddler or something, it's very hard to give up because that's all your identity is, right? That's all he is a great fighter. I mean, he's obviously more than that because he's a politician, he's a humanitarian, he's like a symbol in the Philippines. But like it's because of boxing, he's all that. That's why all the greats like Muhammad Ali, it's super hard for him to let go. Sugar Ray Robinson and Leonard, all these people, like they fight till they like literally can't, which is like it's not like it's just the most like one of the most brutal sports. It's kind of like it's not the first time it's gonna happen. It won't be the last. That's sometimes when I watch Canelo's career, I'm like, and he's 16 professionally, I'm like, I know he's young, like in age wise, but he's old because he has like so many fights. It's the mileage on.
Yeah, Ike, I agree with you. I think guys like Leonard and Duran, you really have to, or even like Tyson, you really have to destroy them to retire. Like you have to retire them. Like they won't retire themselves. The opponent has to retire them, and they'll retire.
Yeah, some go in knowing that they're not in their best at all. Like they just want to fight. I mean, a bit off topic because this Anderson Silva UFC fight. He even said he knows he's not. He knows he's not the best anymore. He just wants to fight because he likes doing it.
Yeah,
maybe it's because of money too, right?
Yeah,
no, limelight and money too. Maybe a lot of them lose their money and then they don't. A lot of athletes, not just fighters. They get so much money they don't know what to do.
Well, Roy Jones did it for the money because he needed money to pay the tax office. So, whereas with Pacquiao, he didn't have that problem. Like he's fine. I think Pacquiao fought on because he likes the limelight.
Yo, Imran, do you guys talk about Dillian Whyte and Fury?
Yeah, we did at the start.
I think Imran's asleep.
Yeah, we did it. And another fight that's happening too that I'm really excited about is the Serrano versus Katie Taylor fight. Man, I like that fight, man. At 135.
Man, I don't know, like, call me old-fashioned, but I don't like watching women get punched in the face. It's just different to me.
Man.
No, bro, I hate. No, seriously, I can't watch UFC when it's like women fighting, and I can't watch boxing when it's like women fighting. It's just like, I don't know. It's just weird to me. Not like obviously they should. I find it so like to see a bloodied up woman just getting like, it's just weird to me. Like honestly, but I know Katie Taylor is like one of the greatest female fighters today, and Serrana's like she's good too. I've seen her fight, both of them fight, but it's just like I rather like I think isn't Shakur fight on the same day?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like this Amanda Serrano anyway, to be honest.
Why? What's wrong?
Why not, Mackay?
I mean, because she hangs around with Jake Paul. Like, I mean, if you hang around with Jake Paul, you clearly, not a very likable person.
Bro, he's the reason why she's a millionaire. You can't hate.
Yes.
No, Jake Paul. Have you heard about him? What he's doing with Dana White about the UFC fighter pay? The whole thing.
Which is
you guys heard about?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Obviously it's bad what Dana's doing.
He doesn't Nagano,
but
you know who recently fought in the heavyweight Korean dude? The heavyweight? Nagano. His name is?
Ngannou.
Yeah, Nagano, yeah. He made he owned 1,000, and Dillian Whyte is making 10 million for almost like 10 million to fight Tyson Fury. Like and the guy
AJ got offered 15 million just to sit on his ass and step aside.
Yeah.
like
that UFC heavyweight is like probably like twice as more famous than Dillian Whyte. And I don't know how he's making like only 600K.
Right, what is right? The UFC fighters, they're like the UFC fighters. They're big stars, but they just get paid peanuts because Dana's taking all their money. But it's good that Jake, he's keeping exposing him for that. But Jake isn't doing it out of the kindness of his heart. He's just doing it because he doesn't like Dana. Yeah, he's not doing it out of kindness. He's just doing it for clout, so people can say, "Oh, Jake Paul's a great person." I mean, like, he's not doing it to be nice. He doesn't care about the fighters.
All I'm gonna say is like while we talk about him, he's just laughing his way to the bank. Like he's a smart guy. Like he's gonna keep doing these to stay in the news, and it's working for him. And honestly, if you ask any boxer if they would fight Jake Paul or if they would be on his undercard, most of them would say yes. Look at Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury has been like, he forgot about his career. He just been chasing Jake Paul. Like it's his like that's the only fight he wants. So, it's working. It's working for Jake.
A fight I wouldn't mind is the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Jake Paul. I wouldn't mind that.
Right, what's going to happen? Obviously, because Julio Cesar Chavez. I mean, the guy doesn't box. The guy he hasn't like wanted to box. Like he doesn't even train. I mean, he's lost his last 2 fights and he's even quit. Like he's just not interested in fighting. And what's going to happen is Jake's going to knock him out in 2 rounds, and then he's going to compare himself to when Canelo fought him. He's like, I must be better than Canelo. I must be better than Canelo. Or Canelo, you must fight me now. That's exactly what's going to happen.
I don't think you can knock out Chavez. Chavez has got a pretty good chin, even though he doesn't.
No. Yo, Lil Penny. When he fought Daniel Jacobs, he quit because his nose broke or something. So I'm not saying he's gonna knock him out, but like I feel like Jake is very smart. He's gonna try who are like former champions, who are obviously not at their best. He's found a niche. He's found a wavelength, and he's just traveling on the wavelength all the way to the bank. He's gonna make more money than most boxers. He's gonna be more than most boxers.
Another option for him is to fight what's his name, Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but like he's with the UFC.
Yeah, no, but he'll fight him in boxing. That'll be a huge money fight, man. That would be enormous. That will do at least 3 million pay-per-view buys. Jake Paul versus
that'll do
McGregor.
a lot. But like, but I don't know if Dana happened.
Well, I mean, with Conor McGregor, isn't he still trying to fight in the UFC 6? Because he's still got like a fight left on his contract, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow UFC.
I don't know anything about
I
it.
don't even watch UFC.
Yeah. The only like
Yeah, well,
people
yeah.
watch
So
UFC
I
was,
mean,
like,
he's what was that?
Hey, Makai, the only UFC fight I watched ever, I've only seen one, was who's that famous that fight actually was in Australia, but that fight I saw on TV.
Oh, Israel Adesanya versus Whitaker.
Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whitaker.
No, it was female. It was
Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. That's the only fight that I saw like on TV, like live, or even a UFC. The only fight I've seen. I've never seen a UFC fight ever. And I thought it was actually quite exciting.
Boxing's the better sport, no doubt. It's just with the UFC, obviously, the matchmaking and everything's a lot better. But I mean, if we had that kind of matchmaking in boxing always would top it. So yeah, boxing's a lot more of a better sport.
Hey, Makai, Ike, did you know that Ngannou only got paid like $500,000 for his last fight? Whereas, like, we're talking about like with the Tyson Fury getting $35 million, Dillian Whyte getting $7 million plus upside on the pay-per-view.
It's a bit like this. Obviously, I think I told you. Ike's gone.
Yep.
Imran.
I think Imran's fell asleep. Anyway, Makai, keep talking. You go.
I don't think I was going to say even.
UFC, the fight purse.
Yeah, well, I was basically saying it to Ike because I already told you. I mean, Ngannou would have to, if Ngannou defended his title 10 times, he'd still get less money than him getting knocked out by Fury.
Yeah, true.
In one fight. Like,
yeah,
it's very bad.
Yeah,
very bad. That's why UFC fighters are trying to box. That's why they want to fight Jake Paul because he's got that payday. That's the only reason why. Yeah,
it's the exit game of life.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he's been doing it the whole time. It's never going to change.
Yeah.
So but
Makai, from an audience point of view, it's good. Like, people probably prefer UFC because you see the fights that you want them to see. They have rematches and trilogies all the time. Whereas in boxing, man, you gotta wait for a super fight, dude. And there's so many like negotiations, like to and fro. Even though they get paid more, but there's too much politics in boxing. Whereas in UFC, there is none.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, well, at the moment, I'd say boxing's looking good. I mean, we got Whyte Fury, Canelo Charlo maybe, or Bivol. Then obviously we got the Charlo-Canelo rematch, which still hasn't been announced. I don't know why. Obviously we got Spence Ugas, and then Shakur Valdez.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And also
and Cambosos Loma, and obviously and Taylor Serrano. I mean, at the moment it's looking good.
But you know what, Michael? I just don't like with the double headers where they aren't at the same time. I mean, there's so many dates you can pick. Like, the Shakur versus Valdez fight. Why is that on St. Patrick's Day? That should be like the following week. Like, why would you want to compete with Katie Taylor and Serrano? Because there's so many Puerto Ricans in New York, and there's also a lot of Irish people in New York. Also, a lot of the British fans are going to watch that, especially Irish people, because they like Katie Taylor. So Why would you want to compete with that? Why would Top Rank compete against the Zone in that situation?
Well, wasn't Shakur Valdez confirmed before though at Taylor Serrano?
Yeah, no. But the Katie Taylor fight was always going to be at St. Patrick's
Yeah.
Day. That's always been that was tabled even last year.
All promotions do it. It's just a ego thing. They want to beat that promotion. They want to get more views. I mean, we're probably going to get a Golden Boy card maybe on that day as well.
Oh my god! Like, yeah,
Yeah,
three
I
cards.
mean, yeah, it always happens. Always happens.
Yeah.
It's just a ego thing. Like they want to beat that promotion. They like, that's just always how it's been. But either way, I mean, it's going to be a night of good fights. But I'm not really interested.
Hey Makai, I like Shakur winning that fight against Valdez. I think he'll outbox him.
I think you'll outbox him. Definitely. No, I mean, I kind of want Shakur to win as well, really. I don't really like Valdez anymore.
I reckon this is Shakur's last fight at 130. I think his next fight will be at 135.
Shakur, man, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. Yeah, he's just growing.
And there's no more fights for him at 130, really. Who's left? Like Burchell? He's not going to fight Burchell. Because Burchell,
No, Burchell's moving up.
Yeah. He has to move up himself. I reckon Valdez, if he loses, he should go down in weight and go to 126 because that's really his weight class. And maybe fight Magsayo.
Yeah. Maybe. Exactly, fight Magsayo. And what was I going to say? Crap, what was I going to say? I've just seen.
Oh, hey, dude, the fight another one that you missed is Khan versus Brook, man. I like that fight.
Yeah, Khan Brook. Yeah, forgot about that.
I like that fight, man.
I'm British, and I even forgot that.
I'd watch that fight in a heartbeat because there's a lot of
It's next week, isn't it?
Sorry.
It's next week, isn't it? That fight.
I think it's February 19, isn't it?
Is it in like 2 weeks then? Oh, I know exactly what we got next week. We got Chris Eubank versus Liam Williams. I like that fight. Yeah. I like that fight.
Andrade fought Liam Williams, right? Like a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, it was Andrade's not last fight. It was his second to last fight.
Yeah. I think Eubank will probably win that fight. He's just too young.
Too powerful.
Yeah.
I think he'll be too powerful for Liam Williams. Liam Williams, he's not really that good. He's just tough, man. He's the guy who brings it, but he's not really a good boxer. I mean, neither is Eubank, but yeah, Eubank will probably get the win. But I've just seen the title of the video is that Canelo has got offered 50 million to fight Charlo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's basically telling us that Canelo will be fighting Charlo because there's no way he's getting 50 million to fight Bivol.
And Makai, it's not just 50 million flat either. It's also he'll get upside on a pay-per-view too.
That's a big fight, man. Him and Charlo's a big fight. Way bigger fight than Bivol. Because if Canelo beats Bivol, let's be honest, he's not going to get any credit for that because Bivol's unknown. I mean, to the hardcores like us, we know that's a great win. But I mean, to the majority, it's not a good win at all.
I think he won't
just
get
be called a Euro bum like everyone else.
I think he won't. Makai, I don't think he won't get any credit if he fights Bivol at 168, like he's asking him to do. But if it's at 175 with no catch weights, no rehydration clauses, I think I'll get credit for that fight.
I think it'll be at 175.
I hope so.
I think it will be, but just what I mean, all he can a 1-fight deal, which just includes Charlo, so he's a free agent after the Charlo fight. Then fight Bivol in September.
Yeah.
Because I love Golovkin, yeah.
Well, better yet, Makai, fight Beterbiev or Benavidez. Because that's more of an exciting fight. Whereas I don't see that Bivol fight being exciting.
Yeah, but I think Bivol wins that. So I'd want to see that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I rate Bivol. Me and Stephen both really rate Bivol, but with because obviously in the matchroom deal, Canelo he's got Bivol in May and then Golovkin in September. Like, no offense to Golovkin, I'm just not interested in that fight. It's just because Golovkin, I mean, he hasn't fought in ages. He's clearly not the same fighter. He's clearly worse than he was 3 years ago when he fought Canelo. Like, it's just not exciting me.
So will Golovkin go up to 168 to fight Canelo?
Yeah, no, I mean, Golovkin said he'll go up and fight Canelo. That gets a whole different weight class, man.
It should be Golovkin first, and then. So what was Matchroom's offer again? Who was it? It's Triple G and who?
So it was Bivol in May and then Golovkin in September.
Oh yeah, so sorry. So he should fight Triple G first in May, and then Bivol in September. That would be a better trajectory. Like, why would you want to go up at 175 and then go down to 168? It's like, you know what I mean? It's better if you go at 168 and then 175. So then
it won't be a problem for him. I mean, it's not like he just has to cut less weight to get to 175, and then he will have to cut just a little bit more to get to 168. Yeah, I don't think but I mean, he's not going to take the Matchroom deal anyway. He's going to take the PBC one. I'm quite confident in that.
I don't mind the Triple G trilogy. Because Triple G gave him his toughest fight apart from the Mayweather fight. I know that Triple G is probably a little washed up now, but I don't think Canelo knocks him out. Like, no, I don't think anyone can knock out Triple G. I think Canelo will probably win decisively this time around, but but not like, it's not going to be like a 10-2. It'll be more like 8-4. You know what I mean? That sort of a scorecard against Triple G in a trilogy, 8-4. But I wouldn't mind seeing it because Triple G knows that this is his last chance of fighting Canelo, his last chance of beating him. So I think Triple G will go for it. Like, he'll go for the knockout. And if he can't, then he'll play it safe in the end. Like, the last 3 rounds. But he will go for it though, because this is his last chance.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's what he's wanted. I mean, Canelo should have gave him the trilogy, like, straight away after that rematch, because it was such a close fight.
Yeah, you know why, Makai? Because Canelo didn't like Triple G saying that he was a drug cheat. I don't think Canelo liked that very much.
Canelo didn't like that. I mean, but it's just that the trilogy should have happened, just so he could, silence the critics. Let's just say, close the door. And then he can do what he did. He does.
Yeah. I actually thought that Triple G won the first fight, to be honest.
Oh, Golovkin clearly won the first fight. I scored it at draw in the second.
But I thought Canelo won the second fight more convincingly than Triple G winning the first fight.
Really?
I came out of that thinking, oh man, Canelo really won that fight because he kept moving forward, and Triple G can't fight backwards. He's not effective fighting going back. Whereas in the first fight, I thought Triple G won, but I could see that it could be a draw, but I didn't have it as a draw. I thought Triple G won. But in the second fight, I thought, man, no, I don't think it was a draw. I think Canelo won that fight.
Right, the first fight, when I was watching it live, because when you're when you're watching a big fight, you're nervous. Do you get nervous when you're watching a big? Yeah, you're not really focusing. You always have to re-watch it back, don't you? I mean, I always do, and then you know exactly what's going on. When I was watching it, I thought it was quite a close fight, but then when I re-watched it, I was like, oh, Golovkin clearly won. Golovkin clearly beat Canelo that fight.
And Makai, I don't know if you noticed, I think it was in the 11th round where Triple G was going for a flurry. It was late in the round, and he was connecting on Canelo. And Canelo, I don't know if Triple G knew it, but Canelo was gassed out. He should have went for the kill. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Canelo, he had a lot of gas tank problems and everything. That didn't sound right. He had a lot of problems with staying like with his stamina and everything.
Canelo went for the clinch, like where like he wanted to clinch because he wanted Triple G to stop punching. You know what I mean? And I've never seen Canelo do that.
Yeah, Canelo looked a lot different in that fight. I mean, he was on the back foot and everything, like moving his feet and everything as well, like just circling around the ring at most. I mean, he never fights like that, but Golovkin made him fight like that because of the power, the pressure, and his skills and everything.
Yeah. Hey, Makai, I gotta eat lunch, dude. So I'll meet you in the next live, dude.
Right.
So we'll talk soon. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good talking to you, Penny. Right. See
you,
ya.
Makai. Bye.